Congratulations on your new Profitec GO. In this guide, you'll learn about the parts of the machine, their functions, and how to quickly set it up, make espresso, froth milk, make a latte and an Americano, as well as how to adjust the PID menu settings, set brew pressure, and perform routine cleaning and maintenance on your machine. In the accessory box with the Profitec GO is a double spout portafilter, commercial 7-gram single and 14-gram double shot filter baskets, a backflush disc, a 58mm stainless steel tamper, and a brew group cleaning brush. On top of the machine is access for filling the reservoir and a cup warming surface. A screw on top of the cup warming area allows you to adjust the overpressure valve and to increase or decrease extraction pressure. For more information on setting brew pressure, watch the Adjusting Brew Pressure chapter of this video. On the front panel, buttons control main power, steam mode, and brewing. The knob opens a valve to release steam when the steam button is on and the machine has reached steaming temperature. On the lower face, a pressure gauge reads the pump pressure when you're brewing. The PID display shows you the current boiler temperature and doubles as a shot timer during extractions. It also gives you access to menus to set brew and steam temperatures, program the eco mode, set cleaning reminders, and toggle between reading temperature in Fahrenheit and Celsius. For more information on programming, watch the PID menu chapter later in this video. The drip tray slides out so it can be easily emptied. The GO uses a 3-way solenoid valve to discharge excess water from the puck after an extraction. It's normal to see water entering the drip tray from behind the front panel after you stop brewing. To start up the machine, first remove and rinse the reservoir. Fill the reservoir with properly filtered water to the max line and press the main power button. You will see the letters FIL appear on the PID display. Place a large receptacle under the group head and then press the brew button to run the pump for at least 30 seconds. The PID display will show you how long the pump has been on. Once you've run the pump for 30 seconds, press the brew button again and the machine will begin heating. The GO is equipped with Profitec's Fast Heat Up feature. When turning the machine on from cold, you will see UP displayed on the PID. This indicates that the machine is superheating the boiler for a faster heat up time. After about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, you will see FLU appear on the PID display, indicating that you should run the pump to cool the boiler down to brewing temperatures. When the display reads RDY GO, turn the pump off. Your machine is now ready to brew. If you do not perform a flush when the display reads FLU, the machine will automatically cool down to brewing temperature over time. In this case, you will know it's ready to brew when the PID display shows the preset brew temperature. When brewing with the Profitec GO, you'll be using fresh ground coffee from a separate grinder. Fine-tuning grind size is the key to success when grinding your own coffee fresh. It's a straightforward process of adjusting the grind size to change how long it takes the espresso to extract. Grinding finer slows down the extraction, and grinding coarser speeds it up. The goal is for the entire extraction to take about 25 to 30 seconds. Timing is the same for single and double shots, so start with a grind that looks like this. Very fine. When you pinch between your fingers, it should hold together a bit and be fine enough to maybe make out your fingerprints in the compressed coffee. When you have a grind size that looks like this, load your portafilter. It's important to try and use the same amount or weight of coffee each time. Using more coffee slows down an extraction, and using less speeds it up. The best way to be consistent is to weigh the coffee. But if you do not have a scale, you can get close by slightly overfilling your portafilter and swiping away excess coffee level with the rim. With the coffee loaded, use the tamper to firmly and evenly compress the coffee. You want a nice flat surface so brew water moves evenly through the coffee. Attach the portafilter and press the brew switch. Time the extraction. Again, the goal is about 25 to 30 seconds for the extraction, and timing is the same for single and double shots. If your extraction was too slow, adjust the grind size a little coarser and try again. If the extraction was too fast, adjust the grind size a little finer to slow it down. Now, you may get lucky and get the grind size right in a couple of attempts, but no, it's not unusual to do 3 or more to dial into the right grind size. A good quality espresso focused grinder helps a lot. Be consistent with the amount of coffee used and tamp coffee firm and level. Also know that grind size is not set and forget. If you change the coffee type as your beans age or the amount used changes, your grind size will likely need slight adjustment. You've made your espresso, so let's look at frothing milk and we'll combine the two for a latte. To start, press the steam switch. This raises the temperature in the boiler to produce steam. While the boiler heats, the PID display will flash between the current temperature and the letters ST. Once the display shows the preset steam temperature, you're ready to go. As the machine is heating, add about 4 to 5 ounces of milk to a frothing pitcher. The exact amount depends on your final drink size. Before frothing milk, briefly open the valve to purge the wand. Then position the tip just below the surface of the milk and open the valve. This tip position sips in small amounts of air, creating tiny microbubbles in the milk, which creates a rich, creamy texture. As the milk expands, lower the pitcher ever so slightly to keep the tip at the same depth just below the surface of the milk. When satisfied with the amount of air in the milk, lower the wand a little deeper below the surface and find a wand angle that causes the milk to swirl. The swirling breaks up any larger bubbles and creates a uniform milk texture in the pitcher. Keep the milk swirling until the outside of the pitcher just starts to get uncomfortable to hold due to heating. That's when the milk is at about 140 Fahrenheit or 60 Celsius, the sweet point for milk temperature. Close the steam valve with the tip still below the surface and press the steam button to return the machine to brewing mode. Wipe down the wand immediately to prevent milk from baking on. Always purge the steam wand after frothing to purge milk from inside the wand. Before pouring the frothed milk over your espresso, you can tap and swirl the pitcher to break up any larger bubbles. Then pour a bit of the frothed milk in your cup and give it a little swirl to mix with your espresso. Then continue pouring the rest of the milk froth to fill your cup. It'll taste great just like this, or with a little practice and the help of online tutorials, you can dress it up with some latte art. To cool the boiler to brew temperatures after steaming, begin by placing a large container under the group head, then press the brew button. Allow the pump to run until no more steam comes out of the group head. The PID display will show you the current boiler temperature. If it's still too high, you can run the pump again to quickly cool the boiler down. With that complete, the boiler is refilled and cooled back down to brewing temperature and ready to make your next espresso. Making an Americano is a way to enjoy a drip-sized coffee beverage brewed with an espresso machine. Start by brewing a shot of espresso as you normally would. When finished, pour the shot into a coffee mug and set it aside. Knock your puck and replace the filter basket with a backflush disc. Be careful when doing this, as the portafilter will be hot. To streamline this process, you can purchase a second portafilter so you always have your backflush disc handy. Lock the portafilter with the backflush disc into the group head, then aim your steam wand into the mug with your shot of espresso. Press the brew button and open the steam valve. Hot water will dispense from the wand into your mug. When you've dispensed enough water, close the steam valve and press the brew button again to stop the pump. Again, water will discharge into the drip tray from behind the front panel of the machine, and this is perfectly normal. A typical ratio of espresso to water for an Americano is 1:3 or 1:4, but you can add more or less to suit your taste. As a note, you can also use the same process to cool the boiler down after frothing for a latte or cappuccino. When not in use, the PID display shows the current temperature in the boiler. To access the PID menu, press the plus and minus buttons simultaneously. T1 will display on the screen. From there, pressing the minus button scrolls through the different menu settings, and the plus button selects a setting to adjust. Once in a setting, use the plus and minus buttons to adjust that setting. To return to the previous menu, wait a few seconds and the menu automatically reverts. Brew temperatures, T1 can be adjusted between 176 and 212 Fahrenheit, though the coffee brewing temperature range is generally considered to be 195 to 205 Fahrenheit. For most medium roasted coffees, 200 is an optimal brewing temperature. For lighter roasts, increase the temperature. For darker roasts, reduce it. Steam temperature can be set between 212 and 284. The higher you set your steam temperature, the more steam power the boiler will produce. If you're new to milk frothing, you may consider lowering the steam temperature. This will give you more time to infuse air into your milk before it gets too hot. Eco mode, ECO, will automatically power off the machine after a specified period of inactivity. You can set the Eco mode to activate anywhere between 30 and 600 minutes in 30-minute increments. You can also shut it off entirely. Cleaning reminders, CLN, can be set to prompt you to backflush the machine after a specified number of brew cycles between 10 and 200. Use the degree sign to select Celsius or Fahrenheit temperatures for display. The Profitec GO comes set to a brew pressure appropriate for making espresso, but it's adjustable by turning this screw on top of the machine. To check or adjust brew pressure, install the backflush disc in the portafilter and lock it into the brew group. Press the brew button. Wait a few seconds for the pressure to build and note the reading on the pressure gauge. Because the GO uses a vibration pump, you should look for the gauge to read 10 bar of pressure. This setting produces a standard 9 bar in the portafilter during an extraction. To adjust the pressure, use a flathead screwdriver to turn the OPV screw on the top of the machine while the pump is on and the backflush disc is in. To keep your Profitec GO in the best possible condition, it's important to keep it clean and well maintained. Portafilters, filter baskets, and the drip tray should all be rinsed thoroughly and wiped down after you finish using the machine for the day. Use the included group head cleaning brush to scrub the shower screen, making sure to get in the space around the shower screen where the portafilter locks into place. Backflushing is required to prevent the buildup of coffee grounds and oils in and around the group head and shower screen. To backflush the machine, install the backflush disc in your portafilter, lock it into the group head, and run the brew pump for 20 seconds. Remove the portafilter and dump the water into a receptacle. Repeat this process until you don't see coffee grounds in the backflush disc. You should perform water-only backflushes after each use of the machine. Profitec recommends backflushing the GO with detergent every 120 brew cycles. The process is the same, except you begin by putting a small amount of Cafiza or similar detergent in the backflush disc before locking it into your portafilter. When backflushing with detergent, it's important to make sure you run the pump for at least 20 seconds to ensure the detergent can dissolve properly. Repeat the 20-second running intervals until water released into the drip tray is clean. It's important to rinse detergent out before brewing again. To do this, remove and rinse the portafilter, reattach and run the pump again several times until the water discharging into your drip tray is clear and free of detergent bubbles. Now that you've got your Profitec GO all set up and ready to brew, there are a few other accessories we recommend picking up. In order to ensure your GO stays in good working order, using properly filtered water is essential. When used as directed, a BWT water filtration system will prevent the buildup of scale in your machine in all but the most extreme edge cases. There are several BWT systems available that are compatible with the Profitec GO, including in-reservoir options. You'll also want to make sure you're keeping your machine clean. For that, you'll need some Cafiza to clean your portafilters, baskets, and group head. And if you're making milk drinks, rinse it to clean out your steam wand. Of course, if you plan on making milk drinks, you'll need a frothing pitcher as well. The best espresso is brewed using beans that have been ground fresh. That means you'll want to add a dedicated espresso grinder to your setup. We also recommend weighing your grounds and your brewed espresso. For that, you'll need an espresso scale. And of course, you can't brew great espresso without great coffee. We have a wide selection of fresh, locally roasted options, as well as your favorites from brands like Lavazza and Carraro. For additional information on operating and maintaining your Profitec GO, see the operating instructions book, which came with a machine. For additional assistance, contact Whole Latte Love customer or technical support.